night it folded softly round the city. A silver hush on rooftops and on wires. The windows wore reflections like confessions, and every passing car looked lit by fire. I stood beneath a flickering station lamplight, with cold hands wrapped around a paper cup, trying to outrun another quiet evening, trying not to feel too much. I had become a woman made of maybe, half in the room and half already gone. I knew how to survive on careful distances, how to keep my softer edges turned away from everyone. I wore my calm the way some people wear perfume, light enough to fool the world outside, but underneath it lived 1,000 little storms, and nowhere safe to hide. And you arrived without the world announcing, no thunder, no dramatic kind of sign, just one tired coat, one breath of winter air, and eyes that met the dark in mine. You asked me if the last train already passed. I said I think so, though I barely knew, because the second that you turned and looked at me, the whole night shifted toward you. Love spoke in your eyes before your hands were anywhere near mine, before the moon climbed over all the station roofs, before I knew your name by heart and by design. Love spoke in your eyes, soft enough to make the silence move, and every locked room in my chest open to the blue. Love spoke in your eyes, and something in me knew. We walked because there wasn't much else to do, past shuttered shops and rain-wet streets. Your voice was low, like you were careful with the dark, like you knew bruised hearts bruised deep. You told me how you learned to hide in humor, how some homes teach you not to need. I told you I was good at disappearing before anyone could see. You smiled like you had met that kind of ache before, like maybe yours had worn a different face, but still you understood the quiet language of it. Still you made the cold feel less like a place, and when your shoulder brushed against my jacket sleeve, it wasn't lightning tearing through the air. It was warmer, slower, almost like remembering a touch my soul had always kept somewhere. I had known attraction just like danger, I had known sparks that burned too fast to stay, but this was not a fire made for spectacle. This was a lamp that would not turn away. This was your patience sitting in the midnight. This was your kindness asking nothing back. This was the way you made my fear feel human, and not a flaw I had to mask. Love spoke in your eyes when the city blurred to silver rain, when every old goodbye I carried lost a little of its pain. Love spoke in your eyes, and no, I almost fell apart, like every road I'd ever taken only led me to your heart. Love spoke in your eyes and rewrote mine. Ooh, la la, the blue kept getting deeper. The hour kept breathing slow. Oh, all the stars above the avenue looked nearer than they should have known. La la, your voice beneath the streetlight. Your shadow next to mine. Oh, if fate has any sound at all, it sounded close to divine. Later by the river railing, you grew quieter, the kind of quiet that means something true. You said, I never thought I'd meet someone who feels like both the question and the you. I laughed because my heart had nowhere left to run. No practice line, no safe escape to choose. So I told you, you feel like the first soft thing I've been too scared to lose. Since then I've learned the weather in your breathing, the one that means you're tired, the one that means you're hurt. You've learned mine too, the way I drift to silence when old ghosts rise up from the dirt. We are not perfect, not some polished story. We bend, we bruise, we miss the right words too. But even in the hardest of our hours, there is still that first look living through. It lives in coffee cooling by the window, in your hand reaching for me in your sleep, in the way you say my name when I go distant, like you know exactly where to keep the softer parts of me I used to hide, the ones I thought would always go unseen. You never loved me as a thing to rescue. You loved me as I've been. Love spoke in your eyes, and still it speaks there every day.